Hey yo, what up? What it is? What's poppin'? It's the neighborhood nice guy K-Dot, and welcome to the premiere of Codename Dream. This is a very special conversation. This is a very special episode because I have none other than my bro. Been knowing my bro for almost 5 years now, something like
Yeah,
that.
this is when I was still in college. Yeah, early.
But I have my brother Najee Simons, aka No Layups, in the building. The analytics, the film, the doctor, the basketball guru. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. Man, I spent 5 hours in film and stats yesterday. So I'm like geeked. I've been ready to get at it about this team, man. Let's get into it. I appreciate you for having me up there.
Yeah, no problem. And again, we're talking about the Atlanta Dream. This is a dream centric podcast. So if you don't, make sure you do always follow the 9450 on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube. We are everywhere. That's at the 9450 on YouTube and Twitter, at the 9450 underscore on Instagram and TikTok. But we're going to get right into it because I'm not going to hold you too long, my brother. But the first thing that we want to talk about is the Atlanta Dream and how they look so far this year. I know they're sitting at 2-2, and this is going to be the most transparent conversation that I'm going to have because, again, what I mean what I say when I say Najee is the guru of film, the guru of analytics, the guru of stats. He doesn't only talk about it, he also is about it because he has proof in the pudding. So let's just talk about what we think is good about the Atlanta Dream, and then we'll talk about the improvement. So, what do you think so far on the season as they're 2-2 starting off?
They're very good in transition. Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray aids it by being able to closeouts and stuff. Haley can push the momentum and stuff. Even with the Cheyenne Parker and Tina just ducking in. They're very good at duck-ins. That's probably where they strive best is in transition, ranking in the 92nd percentile. And that's 18% of their offense, like just transition alone. So that's where they're very good at right now. Right now, I can say that. I say Ryan's playing very good. I say Alicia Gray's being solid. And overall, you see, they're like a team where they have parts that work well. Like you can see the vision with certain parts. Now, how they go about the parts, we'll dive into that later. But far as like, hey, I have these pieces, boom, on paper, it looks like okay, you have a player that can do this, a player that can do that, a player that can do that, a player that can do that. So they have certain parts all together on the team. So that's what I really like. But especially with the duck ends, like it's taking me back to like college and early like 90s and 2000 where they just run, they put that booty on you, duck in, finish. So yeah, that's what they do very, very good right now. And I think they could keep it up all season. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And especially with what you said from the dynamics of the roster makeup. I think that obviously this is an incredibly talented group. I see a lot of the flashes that you're talking about in regards to the duck-ins in around transition. What they do want to do is they want to push the ball. They want to push pace. I believe last season they sat in the middle of the pack, if not towards the top five in pace. But a lot of that pace slowed down a little bit towards the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And ultimately, that's what unfortunately got them into losing their first round matchup against the Dallas Wings. So I am curious to kind of talk about the half court setting because again, you say that they're incredible in transition, but if there is a, for lack of better terms, flaw in the half court setting, what do you think that is?
Man, let's just give an overview. So the team is very mid as far as half court offense. They're in the 50th percentile, 42nd percentile versus man. They don't draw free throws. They're average at drawing free throws. They're last in shot quality. Because if you really look at team shot quality, you'll be able to dictate, are they getting good looks, and then you'll see, okay, they're just missing good looks or they're overperforming on bad looks. They're last in shot quality. I look at offense like four key factors: spacing, creating mismatches, making two guard one, and attacking closeouts. Now they do the attacking closeouts well. As far as the spacing and the creating mismatch and making two guard one, not really much. And they lack constant advantage creation, like the consistency of it. And I really think that dives into how their philosophy and their concepts, how they play. Just think of it like in the modern game, if I told you a team was a low volume 3-point shooting team, a low rim attempt team, but they're fourth in mid range attempts, you really wouldn't think that team is going to be an elite offense, especially unless you have just outlier shooting, but this team doesn't have that. So that's just a basic rundown in general terms, and then we could get more specifics about it, but that's a general rundown on the problems in the half court right now that's very glaring.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into that, because I think that's part of the problem, right? I know that offensively, again, when we're talking about talent, the talent is there. And you mentioned something that was very intriguing. You talked about spacing or lack thereof. What do you think could be the biggest help when it comes to their spacing in order to get more quality shots, knowing that they are at the bottom in shot quality? So let's just talk about a few plays that you've looked up recently, and let's maybe kind of show the people what you mean when you say about their low shot quality.
Okay, so like some examples I have, because what I can say is coach is very good at after timeouts and sideline out about. So calling plays necessarily isn't the issue. It's conceptually and philosophically. I don't know how to say the word, but that's the issue rather than her calling plays. But basketball is in like football. You will play. Sure, she could call plays every time, but all that transition will be taken away.
Right.
So it would, yeah, it's just not how the game is played. But like I pull up tape, you go to when they played the Mercury. They do very good. They run a lot of horns actions. Horns, they get a lot of good looks out of it. And even though they constantly, you'll play with two bigs, that's a way to get into some high-low action
Mm-hmm.
right there. Because with the 3-second rule, if a big pops, even if the big is a non-shooter, it's only so much you can sag off without getting a 3-second call.
Right.
So you're forced to kind of guard and boom, duck in, Tina Charles, boom, bucket. Those are the type of consistent good looks they can do with that. They run a lot of that. Sideline out of bounds with the guards. They like to run this Iverson flip into a double drag or 77 or whatever you want to call it, where the guard are inbounded real quick, flip it, and they flowing off like a DHO into another screen, and then that gets them also good looks consistently. So that's their two main go-tos. Far as like the sideline out of bounds and play calling situations, which I really like. Especially like they do a lot of horn sets. Like it's just like horns everywhere with them. But outside of those situations, I mean, let's really talk about it. This team hardly runs any ball screens. That is a massive problem. Now, granted, if I'm guessing why, it's because they have a big deficiency in playmaking on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, with their, I don't want to say best guard, but Canada is big for the team.
Yes.
Jordan is big for this team with their playmaking. Not even going to talk about the defense stuff right now, but the playmaking, still being able to space the floor and all that stuff. Jordan is very good, and she's missing right now.
Right.
And I can also say this: you may want to flip with some Nas minutes. I know she's on the bench. I know she don't play a lot, but in their lineups that's played 5+ minutes, this is a low season so far. She's in the top like 3 of the 4. the lineups. She should see more minutes. I mean, she's second on the team in plus minus. Granted, she's probably not a scorer, but a big coming off the bench, getting you basically 3 assists a game
Mm-hmm.
for a team that lacks playmaking. Um, that's something you should do. Look into. And they don't run a lot of ball screens. Canada being hurt, more ball screens just need to be ran because I understand Ryan is she's a good scorer and she's let's just keep it a band. She's not a playmaker. But the fact that you're constantly drawing two, especially in a league that likes to put two on the ball, where you're soft hedging, eventually she's going to get that cover so much where she can just start boom, making a simple look, making a simple look, making
Yep.
a simple, and you probably have to deal with some turnovers in the meantime of getting those reps. But I feel like it could work out better in the end if they run more ball screens because honestly, I know she's a legend. I know she's phenomenal. I know she's A1. The Tino Charles led offense and high volume post ups is just not good no more. Like it's just not it right now. Now, if you want to say it could be a bit better,
Mm-hmm.
they have more spacing. Sure. But you're in a 36th percentile in the half court, post ups, and that's your main source of half court offense. It's like, yo, like, when are we going to realize, hey, maybe we should change this up? It's just very inefficient offense. Even Tina herself has ranked as an individual in the 29th percentile in post up offense. Cheyenne Parker is good, but I mean, are we running Cheyenne Parker post ups offense? You
Mm-hmm.
got Ryan Howard, you got Alicia Gray. Let's just buy into the guards. Let's get Haley Jones to be more than right now just looking like a table setter. She's
Mm-hmm.
good at pushing the pace. Let's get some flat ball screens where it's not dictated, it's pointed directly, so while the team is looking back she can choose her side.
Right.
Even there's only so much you can go under with the flat ball screen. She could choose a side, or you could constantly set her up, let her post up and get some low ball screens. Let some low ball screens at the post, let her catch it, another big come set it, let the other non-shooting big point be at the slot, the opposite wing, because right there you can only help so much. You only have so much before you get 3 seconds.
Right.
If you want to double, boom, the big can set a flare or off ball screen for Alicia Gray or Ryan Howard, boom, she could pass, boom, that's a shot. But it just seems like I don't want to like it because she isn't this bad, but think how the Lakers were running offense through Kobe his last
Mm-hmm.
2 years. And it was clear like Kobe's not it anymore, but it was Kobe. You can't not run offense through Kobe. So that's what it's feeling like right now. And I really feel like if they do that more, you get more 3-point looks, you get more closeouts, you can get more rim attempts. Shoot, even the guards, you can do some shuffle passes, get the bigs easier looks. So I just feel like it just needs to be a philosophical overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if the staff is willing to do it, and let alone certain players on the team are willing to buy in to that change.
Yeah, so that's very, very interesting that you say that. And I'm not going to keep you long because you gave a perfect kind of like iteration of what we expect as fans, and especially as Dream fans, to see. So I want to give a comparison. I know you gave the Lakers comparison, but I want to give a WNBA comparison. Let's take a look at the 2017 Minnesota Lynx when you had a Lindsay Whalen, when you had a Maya Moore, when you had a Simone Augustus, and then you had the two bigs in Big Mama Sill and Rebecca Brunson. We're not going to equate Rebecca Brunson and Big Mama Sill for Tina Charles and Cheyenne Parker. Yeah, we're not going to do that, of course, but there were certain sets that you mentioned that is complementary of that 2017 Lynx team that I think this 2024 Dream team, for lack of better terms, or whatever the pun you want to call it, is or could use. And right now, you said that Jordan Canada is out, and Jordan Canada is, of course, one of the big pieces that is missing. And you're absolutely right. I think with Haley Jones has been she hasn't been used to her full potential, in my opinion, because she is definitely a scoring playmaker. as opposed to just a traditional point guard. And I think because of the lack of the point guard right now, she's just being utilized as such. I know that they also have Crystal Dangerfield, but Crystal Dangerfield is more of a I would call her more of a scoring guard who can make plays as opposed to another traditional point guard. So I think once Jordan Canada comes into the mix, it'll be much better. But I 100% agree with you on how their sets look. And you're right, the shot quality is extremely low because, to be truthful, they don't run a lot of half court sets. It is just kind of like duck and field. Present the ball to the post, see what the high post looks like. If you don't have the high post, kick it out to the wing. If the wing doesn't have it, then turn back around, do a high low with Cheyenne and Tina. But still, it's a lot of stagnant, playmaking there. And they do have to see what else works. So before we go, I want to ask you one last question, and we have about 3 minutes left. In your humble and professional opinion, if this dream team can do what you've suggested at the end of the season, where could you see them ranked going into the playoffs?
Realistically, Minnesota, nah. Liberty, I have depends on what Liberty we getting. Let's just say if everything goes right, like, and they do, make some adjustments and stuff, they could flirt with. I want to say high end three, but that's like high end three. Realistically, their best could probably be like 4 or 5. But out of the 12, I'm talking like just power rankings wise. Like I'm looking at them, so they could be like 4 or 5. I really think they can flirt with 4. They can get 3. They can. They can. Will it take some other teams playing worse than expected? Yeah, but I think they can get. But they definitely can get 4 or 5 if they make certain adjustments and an identity shift. I mean, you're starting off 2-2 already,
Right.
so you're not in a bad spot. And you still got some players coming back. I also think Dangerfield should play more too. I think she needs to play more. But if they make those adjustments, they definitely can rise in the rankings and shift this season around because they have the pieces. They have pieces. They have pieces. They have pieces. And a lot of teams that start off bad or look bad, they don't have pieces. They have pieces. So you kind of halfway there. Now it's just getting to the end. So
Yeah.
that's what I feel about them.
Cool. So there you have it, man. I really, really appreciate you just taking some time out just to talk with your boy. It's been a long time coming. I will have you on for more of these, and I might have some other special guests that may join us who does the Dream Beat. So again, this has been Keeping It 9450, but the code name is Dream. And always follow the 9450 again on Twitter. That's at the 9450. Follow us on YouTube. We're trying to get that YouTube page up. We're trying to get the subscriptions. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you can to support the cause. Follow my man Najee, man. Follow him on Twitter at no layups _ I did get that correct, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, man. Listen, this guy is next up. You got to get him on your shows. You have to. He's next up. All right. This is my guy. Love him to death. And he's hilarious as well. Listen, like any joke you want, he got for you. So I really appreciate him for coming on, and the knowledge is incredible. So continue to do great work, my brother. And again, we're going to have you on all season long. So whenever you see that text, you already know what it's going to be. So
yes,
we're going
sir.
to be here. And also, this won't just be the Dream. Like, he does all 12 teams. Like, he's not just the dream guy. He does all 12 teams. So again, if you guys need him, hit him up. He's on Twitter. Hit him up. And I really appreciate it. So with that being said, this has been Codename Dream. I am your host, Kevin K. Lewis, aka Mr. Nice Guy, the neighborhood nice guy. And as always, love is love. Peace.